It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Donzoko Beer. Donzoko Brewing Company, I should say. It's in a 500ml can, and this is their Leith Zig Classic Gose. Foamy beers for good times. I really like that slogan. So a Gose then is a style of beer from the German region of Gose. It's actually on the River Gose. A brewery set up and drew their water from the River Gose, which is naturally salty. So they had these kind of like naturally salty beers from hundreds of years ago, and it's very synonymous with that area. Gose beers now, Gose River, hand in hand. Lots of people drink these slightly salty beers. And back then, when they first brewed these beers hundreds of years ago, it wasn't about style. It was just about what the region could produce in terms of beer. And it just so happens now we have like hundreds of different styles from all around the world because of these kind of like French saison, made for the farm worker. Gose, slightly salty water. Things weren't called Session IPA until the likes of Michael Jackson come along. Not the singer, but the beer writer. Before that, before Michael Jackson, it was all like, it would be called beer number 1 or beer number 2, beer number 3. Some breweries would call it dark beer, light beer, strong beer. In fact, you still see strong beer, don't you? You still see pale ale. Michael Jackson come along, IPA, India Pale Ale, IPA, double IPA, not New England, because I think he probably unfortunately passed away by the time New England IPA came about, but he was definitely around in the early days of American IPA. The poor man passed away in 2006. But I want to say a massive thank you to Stephen Claxon for this beer. This beer came from the wonderful Trembling Madness, the wonderful shop in York. They got a lovely bar, and they've got a lovely kind of bar but great shop as well in one location, and then the second location's a bar. If you go to York, go to Trembling Madness. This is where this beer comes from. So we'll talk about the rest of the kind of style and everything else in a bit, but I want to talk about the beer first and foremost. So we've got a very thin, one finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation as you rock the beer back and forth. It is straw coloured, it is slightly hazy, 3.4% ABV. Gose style, Goses, yeah, they're going to be that kind of like light ABV, they always have been. Aroma. Smells good. I think they've used some American hops, or certainly New World hops, in this classic Gose. A little bit of lemon, maybe a touch of lime. You get a little bit of that saltiness coming through. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Wow, yeah, straight away. You know that initial, like when you get seawater in your nose, seawater in your mouth, that kind of initial slight doubt, that's the word. I mean, when it comes to seawater, it's more than doubt, isn't it? But I reviewed one of these beers yesterday, but it was a yuzu and lemon and chili beer from Donzoko, and the chili and the lemon were like overcut in the, it was more flavour than just that kind of like what I picked up from the first taste in this beer definitely was that kind of little bit of saltiness coming through, and it makes you just a little bit just doubting, but it's fun. It's interesting, it's a great style of beer, and they've done a fantastic job of it. They've done an absolutely fantastic job of it. This beer is supposed to be like this. If you like a Gose beer, if you like a slightly salty Gose, then look no further. This is just an absolute classic. There's definitely some New World hops in here. There's definitely some tangerine flavours coming through. There's definitely some lemon coming through. It's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit peppery. You get this then lovely backbone of the beer, which is like this light biscuit taste that comes through. Really good. Really good, really drinkable, really refreshing. And at 3.4% ABV, bags of flavour. Bags and bags and bags of flavour. Because the mouthfeel is slightly thicker because of that kind of like the buoyancy, if you like. Is that the right word to use? Like salt water is more buoyant, isn't it? If you put something in salt water, it's more likely to float than in clean water. So am I okay to use the word buoyancy here, if you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's got a little bit more, it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit kind of like creamier on the mouthfeel. And that hides, that very much kind of masks that 3.4% ABV. Brilliant beer. Absolutely brilliant beer. Lemon and lime. Then it cuts through to being really refreshing, good body, a little bit of carbonation, pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. And yeah, just absolutely fantastic, really. And it finishes off, as I mentioned, with that kind of like slightly biscuity taste on the back end. So I'm going to rate this one. Now, before I rate it though, I just want to mention also that while we're on the subject, or whilst we were on the subject of Michael Jackson, he wasn't just a man who named beers. He also designed beer glasses. So I believe Michael Jackson could have designed this glass, or he could have designed this glass. He didn't design this glass. This is an IPA glass which was designed, this is a Teku glass, and that glass was designed after his passing. But certainly what Michael Jackson was all about was promoting beer, naming the beers, giving beer a bit more respect, and certainly by giving it more respect, you're going to put in decent glassware in you, like a nice, you know, like they do with wine. They present their wine in decent glasses. His idea was, why shouldn't we put our beer in decent glasses too? So they're brewed from Edinburgh in the UK. The ingredients are water, malted barley, oats, spelt, hops and yeast. 3.4% ABV. Classic Gose this. Classic Gose. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Really tasty stuff. These are my first two beers from Donzoko. Check out the lemon and chili beer that I did recently too. But really impressed by this brewery. Really, really impressed. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Stephen for sending. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.